Hi. Okay, so Bridget Gibbs, Live and Breathe Yoga Ventures, and I just wanted to go over a juicing video with you guys. Nutrition is super, super important, and so I just got done showing my fabulous photographers what all these vegetables were, and they had no idea. No, I'm kidding. So what I'm doing right now is I'm soaking them in a vinegar cider, just kind of a wash, and I'm trying to get all of the wax basically that's on all the vegetables. See this right here? Yeah, they wax the vegetables to make them look pretty, and these are even organic. So I always tell people you don't really need to buy organic because we're going to try to soak everything off of them anyway. So as long as you have, I mean, just as soon as I get all my stuff from the store, I just unwrap it, stick it in my sink, apple cider vinegar, just get everything off there. So, so basically this is a dinosaur kale, my grandson's favorite. And these are like a shard, so it's kind of like in the cabbage family. I do a lot of different types of shards, a lot of deep green leafy vegetables. So this is parsley, really good for kind of filtering out the blood. We do a lot of cilantro, or I do a lot of cilantro in my juices. So I do juice for some clients, but when I'm juicing for myself, I don't make it for taste. I do it more for the health purposes. And I see a lot of people juicing their fruits, or they'll stick a lot of apples or stuff like that in fruit. And so the only reason you don't want to do that is because this pulls out all the insoluble fiber, which basically this is digesting your food for you and just gives you the nutrients. And so when you do that with fruit, you're basically flooding your body with sugar. And so sugar is sugar is sugar. Your body doesn't know the difference. So it doesn't matter if it comes from a fruit or whatever, but especially when you take out the insoluble fiber, when you juice it, just like orange juice or anything you buy at the store, those juices, they're just loaded with sugar, just like all those sodas and everything. But anyway, that's another day. So you don't really want to juice your vegetables. You want to blend your fruit. I mean, you don't want to juice your fruit. You want to blend your fruit and juice your vegetables. So try not to, unless you just really can't handle the taste of your juices, which they're really not that bad. And once you start drinking them, you actually start craving them because your body's actually getting nutrients that it really needs. And so then it's not starving or craving all these weird random things that you go through the day and you're kind of craving something weird. You don't even know what it is. You want to go outside and lick a rock or something. No, you just never know what you're going to crave. And so this kind of helps cut down all the cravings and stuff too, because you are basically introducing all of the nutrients into these, which usually in one juice, this is about how much vegetables I will eat in one juice. And so, but I would never be able to sit here and eat all of these. I never would. Like, I just don't got time for that. But I will drink a juice. And so basically those fresh nutrients are going straight into my bloodstream. They're bypassing my digestion, so I'm not taking my digestion away from, like, say it's working on my brain, which it could use some help up there, or it's working on healing some torn muscles that I've been trying to work on. Then it doesn't have to go away from that to help digest my food. These just go straight into my bloodstream, feeding all my 2 billion cells with straight nutrients. So, and then a lot of these are very detoxing. I know if you've heard Tony Robbins talk, he was so toxic with heavy metals that he was like off the charts, and he couldn't figure out why he was so tired, and he was having a really hard time functioning. And you know him, he's super high energy. But he had such high levels of heavy metals in his body that he was becoming toxic. So that's a lot of things that you want to avoid. So we do a lot of celery for that reason. So that's very detoxing. I'm sure you've heard all the celery videos and blah, 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 whatever. But celery is really, really good for you, and cilantro. So those are usually always in my juices. Everything else is just kind of a preference. Like if you don't like, and don't juice a bunch of beets because there is a ton of sugar in there, but they're really good for the blood. So if sugar is something that you need to stay away from, then you want to do maybe like a dill or a parsley, or do something else that's kind of blood cleansing instead of the beets. So we also have a lot of spinach in here. So this is what it looks like when you don't buy it in a bag. It's actually big, long leaves. And so there's tons and tons of protein in there. It cracks me up when people always say, well, you eat vegetables all the time. Where do you get your protein from? Right here. So, so protein doesn't like heat, and it doesn't like to be processed. And a lot, especially like your protein shakes, everything is processed and it's heated up. So it changes the actual molecules of the protein. And so it's not as absorbable. It's not as good for your body. I do a lot of dandelion greens, which are really good for your branched chain aminos. It's a lot of really pure branched chain aminos, which we really, really need. B vitamins and D vitamins are very, very important for overall health. But B is good for so many different things, and all your branched chain aminos are super, super important. So I use a ton of ginger as well. Ginger is really good for your digestion, which is so important. So one thing that you'll notice when you start juicing, your eyesight will get better, your smell will get better, and your digestion will get better, which is super, super important. And this is a really good in helping digestion and helping with aiding digestion. Lemon kind of cuts out some of the sharpness of some of the vegetables. So it's almost like your salt or your sugar for anything that you're making. This kind of cuts out some of that, the harshness of some of these herbs and vegetables. I kind of like it, but some people really don't like it. But lemon is super, super healthy for you, and you want to use the entire lemon. So most of your nutrients are going to be in the peel. So that's why I soak the outside of the peel, because I'm going to use the entire thing to juice. Same thing with my oranges. I eat the entire thing. I eat the peel, I eat the orange. This is where a lot of the nutrients are. So, and I know everybody just cringed when I said that, but it's actually really good. You'll get addicted to it. So I've got a lot of cilantro in here, which is really, really good for taking out the heavy metals. And that's about all I have in here today, just because they didn't have any turmeric. So if you can get fresh turmeric, super, super, super good for you. And I juice it with a lot of cracked pepper. So I use fresh cracked pepper, which helps you absorb those nutrients quicker. And I also put cracked pepper in my juices. So like I said, I don't do my juices to taste. They don't taste bad to me, but to some people, they're just way too strong. I do them for what they're doing to my body, my mind, my health, my everything. So if you give your body the nutrients it needs, your body can heal and start correcting itself. But when it's constantly on attack, like bad food, over breathing, stuff like that, then your body just starts slowly giving you little warnings. And if you ignore those warnings, then they'll get a little bit worse, and then you ignore those, and that's when disease kicks in. So we are trying to prevent and correct disease with food. So if you have to ask if it's all natural, don't eat it. You know, basically, this is food. Let me see. I know I've got some fake food around here. Like a box of cereal, that's not food. Let me see. Roman noodles, that's not food. Like anything, if it comes in a can or a box or a bag or anything, it's not food. So it's edible, don't get me wrong, you know, because we did a really good job of making sure that the economy is not going to starve. So we created all these fake foods. So our body does not need carbs. That is not an essential nutrient, but yet we're eating hundreds of thousands of them. So anyway, I'm just going to start throwing some stuff in the juicer. And I'm just going to start with like the dinosaur kale. So you can see how very small amount of like all this kale is going to make, and how much is going to go actually in the bottom of the juicer. And this is kind of loud, so I'm super, super sorry. But so I'm just going to turn it on here. Just going to pick some dinosaur kale. like meal prepping. So I'm just meal prepping for the week. I'll usually make all my juices for a couple of days, and then I will completely stop. There's tons of recipes that I'm gonna do below, so I hope that you will try to juice. I think this one was like $50 or $60 on Amazon. Like, don't overthink it, just do it. Like, the best way to get stuff done is just to get started. So comment below if you have any questions or would like me to send you some recipes. And I hope you have a wonderful, healthy life and try to breathe less and bend more. Thank you.